And hello, everybody, and welcome to Sound Explorations. Today's title is Make a Joyful Noise. And truly, we are making a joyful noise, both Beth and I. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Karen. Oh, it's so good to see you in Vegas, and I'm in Rome. It's so
I
good to
know,
see
you're
you.
in Roma. How beautiful is that?
Talk about making a joyful noise. Oh my gosh, it's
Yes.
beautiful over here. So,
Oh,
so
I'm,
beautiful.
I'm so sure of it. I envy you. I wish I was there with you. Maybe next time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that. That'd be awesome. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to have you on the Google Hangout with us. Karen's in Vegas, and that's Vegas, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm in Rome, Italy. And we really would like to make a joyful noise, including you guys all. And what is a joyful noise for y'all? That's where I would like to start. How about it, Karen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you just made that long journey across the ocean. I know that when you landed in Rome, there was definitely a nice, joyful noise that erupted from your being.
Yeah, yeah, because it was a crazy trip. It was so crazy, and the sounds that we were able to really tap into in
Mm.
the airports and the sounds of the plane all through the air. The sounds when we were like landing, taking off, all those things that we kind of just don't even tap into because it's natural. And so everywhere that we don't tap into them, wow, where have we cut off awareness of what that's creating in our body? And so that was a really interesting thing to be so sound exploring through that journey. Yeah, thanks
Right.
for that. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I just the other day there was some kind of motor. I think it was the air conditioning sound, and I was like, it was really loud. Actually, it wasn't the air
Oh, yeah.
conditioning. It was the blowers. They were out, blowing the leaves, and it was right outside my window. And the thing that I did to help me get through that, because it was like, okay, this is going to be this could be annoying, or it could be an interesting sound. So I just said, okay, so let's just play with it. And I started to like harmonize with the sound of the machine, which made it a
Oh,
lot easier.
and that's awesome, and where is it that we have been taught that what sounds are annoying? And when we get taught that this sound is annoying, this one shouldn't be there, this one's, interrupting what I'm thinking or feeling or something. Thank you for that. That's really wonderful. One time said that he had been out under a tree and he was trying to meditate. And every tree he went under, there was somebody starting to come. They would come immediately and start trimming the tree. So he just made that inclusive into his meditation, as far as like, and who says that a meditation is supposed to be quiet anyway? It's
Yeah,
actually what's going on in the body at the same time. Yeah, yeah. So that's awesome.
cool.
And talking about another sound that I think you just experienced was the sound of the storm coming through the desert. Didn't you guys just have a storm there?
Oh yeah, we had like a huge storm. There was a lot of flooding, of course, as usually happens in the desert because the sand doesn't absorb so much water that quickly. So there's always
Yeah.
the wash, and they have different canals that capture the wash. But still, there's still lots of areas that flood. But luckily, if you're in my neighborhood, it was
Yeah, you're
yeah, my beautiful neighborhood. It rained. I live in Summerlin, by the way, and it rained, but it
yeah.
was it was beautiful. The sound of the rain, and then the smell of the rain. And because when you live in the desert, you don't get to experience them very often because it rains
No.
very often. But this is the season where it happens. And the temperatures this morning were it was 77 degrees when I woke up this morning after being for all of those of you in anyone listening from in Europe. That's about I don't know 29 or 30, yeah, something like that. So it was beautiful.
Celsius, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was beautiful, and just the air is different. It's like it's almost like the sound of the rain, the lightning, the movement of the energy creates a whole nother environment. It's almost reflective in ourselves when we allow ourselves to let go of energy, right? A pent up energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think one of the funnest things to do is sound into the body the sounds of the storms, the lightning, or you know, the wind or something like that, and how that can just shift the energy and the association that we have with sound, and that association where it's stored in the nervous system.
Right.
And
how much
then the picturesque that it brings up.
Right. How much of that is really a part of us that we forget that we are connected to this planet, you know, that we are literally part of, and we're made of the same stuff.
And when we really tap into that, the thing that we tap into is, I like to call it like the memory system of the nervous system of all the lifetimes of all of everything. So it goes so much deeper than just in that moment. But in that moment, what's reacting in your body? What's peaceful in your body? What is the reaction? Is it light? Is it heavy? Is it peaceful? Is it calm? Is it stirring something up, you know? And so when we really play with that sound exploration, those noises that come through, I don't even want to call them noises. I think I want to call them the sounds. And what if every sound was beautiful? Sound had some type of either a healing effect or a chaotic or a stimulating to stir something up to create beyond that and beyond that and beyond that and beyond that.
Right.
And so anywhere we don't take that in like that, what if we did everything? And so that's going to be some of the fun explorations we're going to do in our class when we hold that. And Karen,
yes,
we're going to be doing that the end of this month in July, right?
That's right, everyone. We have chosen a date, and that's July 31st. Woo-hoo, July 31st it's a Sunday afternoon, and we chose that date because it actually works out pretty good. So if you come into town on Saturday, the day before, you can see me perform. I'm going to be giving a jazz concert. And
we will be seeing you perform. We will be seeing you perform.
Yes,
absolutely.
And Beth will be available for privates, because you know she is an amazing body worker, and if you don't let her get her hands on you, you're crazy. And she'll be coming in early, so you have to come in for that too. So you could come in for massages and access body work, SOP, Symphony of Possibilities body work. You can look that up. You can Google that if you don't know what that is. And all of the other things that she does. She'll align your bones. She'll crack your bones. She's fabulous. So you can come in for that
Karen,
Saturday night for me, and then Sunday afternoon we'll have our workshop. So I'll be posting a flyer for that, like in the next few days. So look for it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell a stranger.
And that's going to be about 2 o'clock on that Sunday afternoon, right?
Yeah, I would say 2 or 3. Yeah, because I finished singing late, so I want everybody to get enough rest, especially myself, and get ready for the sound extravaganza.
Yeah, that sounds so wonderful. And where are you performing in Vegas?
I'll be at the Dispensary Lounge. It's on Tropicana and Eastern. It's a little dive. It really is a dive, but that's where the best jazz comes from. And it should be a real fun evening, really fun. So we'll have a good time. It's going to be a great workshop, because we're going to explore so many wonderful things and get your bodies in tune. Aha. How do you like that one?
I was just going to say tuned up and in tune.
There you go.
And tuning on fast.
Yes. Get your body in tune and tuned up. That sounds wonderful. I mean, we take our cars to get tuned up, but we don't really tune up our bodies, or not in not using sound at any rate, you know?
And Karen, some of the things that you play with before you sing, I find that fascinating. Like how you tune up and how you tune in and how you tune on down the road and through the songs and all of that. And you tune into your audience and you tune into, you know, what's going on behind you in the stage and what's going on in all the environment. And I think that we do that in everyday life. And you know, hyper do it when you're performing. And it's amazing to watch you go inside and to really pull that out, everybody. And I love to know that each one of us has that gift to be able to do that in our body. Not the same way you do it, not the same way I do it, but everybody has this gift of sound of some kind coming out of them, you know? Exactly. And what would it take that we expand that? And we let everybody kind of just tap into who they be through sound. That's exciting.
Absolutely. That is exciting. And you know, the thing is that we all, every single person has the ability, the capacity to explore their unique sound. And I try to teach that when I'm teaching voice as well, when I'm teaching people to sing, because everybody has their own sound. And instead of trying to copy someone else, which you can do to get you, if it gets you to your sound, that's fine too, not judging that. But it's so vital to the awareness of yourself, of being who you are. And if you look at children, they're like the best example. I mean, I could just watch children for hours, just watch them, because they allow themselves to play with sound, like blah, 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 or blah, 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 blah. They play with their tongues. They just enjoy the feeling of sound in their body. And yeah.
And one of the coolest things, again, to reference the children, is they don't care if anybody's listening or not. And they don't care if people hear it or what the other person may think of it or anything like that. So they don't have that judgment system that stops their play. It's total play. And so what if we didn't have any of those judgment systems of ourselves or of anybody else's sound? Can we just destroy and uncreate all that?
Absolutely. Right, wrong, good,
So
bad,
good and bad.
bad times of Godzilla. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, bad, boys and beyond.
Let's just do a slam-a-jamma on that one, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. And, you know, when we were in the conference today, in the seminar today, there were so many sounds when we were working on people through doing a maestro session on them. Because in a maestro session, you know, the class is called maestro. You know, everybody's a maestro in some way in their own life. As we do a maestro session, we actually are being part of the symphony. Part of it, we may be sharing in part of it, we may be the instrument being played in part of it, but that session of that feeling of that oneness that's created in that harmonics of just like everybody in the room is a contribution to everything that's going on in your body, contribution to theirs. So in that feeling of symphony, you know, it's, you may be directing part of it and maybe not. So what sound do you want to play in the symphony? And how do you want to show up playing that sound in a symphony? Right. You know, whether it's for 1 or 2 or 3 or 20 or the world, who knows? And so it was just really, really fun today to play with that energy of the sound as we were playing in the symphony as the maestro. So that was cool. And what if everybody that's online with us now played with being a maestro and played with their own sound and created their own symphony and whatever they were doing, you know, whether it was driving their car, being the sound of the symphony of the car, you know, however that would show up for them or their kids or in their workplace, and listening to the computer, listening to the music, listening to whatever, and just harmonize that in their body. And so it didn't have a negative effect on them, but it created something that was very harmonious for them. So I would ask everybody to play with that and see
absolutely
what came out of it.
You know, it's so funny. There are a lot of YouTube videos that are coming out right now about people singing in their cars. I mean, maybe because they have that new program on American television called Car Karaoke, which has become very popular with, you know, famous stars who are singing in the car with this guy who's he's a talk show host, but he's also a singer. And he's very funny. He's a comedian and a singer. And so he's got these stars in his car and they're singing like these top 40 songs, not their songs. I mean, they have the actors, they have singers and everything. And there's such a joy that's created in singing in your car because you don't think anybody's listening. And you just let yourself fly with the song. And hopefully it's not a sad song, even though that can be cathartic and that can also be helpful if it moves you through what you need to get through. That's fine too, right?
I totally agree. And that is making a joyful noise, because anytime you're releasing, and who's to judge what's sad and what's happy? You know, it's different for everybody. And also doing that in the car, the amount of road rage that's going down from that, because people are so much happier when they are singing in the car. And so that road rage, that anger, all of that type of stuff is just like, nah, not doing that today, you know? So that's really an awesome, awesome tool that the guy created. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's a great show. And then, it's a reminder to people, have some fun. Where is your joy?
Yeah.
What makes you joyful? Instead of, moping around and complaining about, the politics or too much traffic or the weather or the rain or, because, of course, yesterday we live in the desert and people are complaining that it's raining. Excuse me. Yes, it did get a little hairy for some people. But, it's rain. It's like we need rain.
Oh, yeah, me too. And talk about your body feeling something and absorbing it when you're in the desert and you have that, and that sound of it coming down and then it just like kind of mellows out and it just keeps going and going and going.
It's like as soon as it started raining, I opened my window and stuck my hand out the window to reach for the rain. I was like, it's raining.
And did you say, hallelujah? Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's good. And so when you start teaching somebody to sound or sing or harmonize or play, first things that they play with their body that we could give to people that they might want to play with a little bit, what would be something that they could start getting out of their own way and start like finding their sound? What would be some of the tools as you as a teacher could give us, maybe one tool?
Well, as you well know, the body is the voice. So I immediately tell people that say it's not your voice, your body is your instrument. And that is true. That is, even in talking about symphony and symphony of possibilities, your body literally is your major instrument. So the first thing I do is I connect people to their bodies and we start to stretch and we start to like reach for the stars. And reaching for the stars, the funny thing about when people start to reach for the stars is they make a noise like, reach, come on, I want you to reach, and there's that sound in and of itself is part of your body connecting to your, with your voice. And they work in tandem, they work together, So I think one of the first things that was the most important, at least, there's so many different parts of that, but let's start with vibration. Vibration in and of itself, the vibration of the voice, how to vibrate your voice. And one of the fastest ways to do that is to hum. Hum. So I advise to everyone, sorry?
I love that, where you can feel it on your lips.
Yeah.
And you can feel it in your mouth and your jaws and everything. It's just so wonderful.
Yes, everything. When you start to hum, everything starts to vibrate in your entire body. Your bones, your skin, your blood, everything starts to vibrate. So it's not strange that one of our greatest meditations is the Om, right? And because it's such a powerful vibratory sound, and it really gets your whole instrument vibrating. So the first thing in the morning, one of the things that I would advise people to do is to hum. Slowly, nice and easy, and you're in bed, just
So hum and stretch, hum and stretch,
yes.
hum and stretch.
Hum and stretch, hum and stretch.
Hum and stretch. And, one of the things that I love to do, because I teach yoga and all that type of stuff, is doing the breath, and just blowing it out of the lips and stuff. So that sound that's blowing it out of the lips is an amazing vibratory thing also. And so when we're talking about sounding the miraculous, sounding the body, well, that breath is just innate to it. And so when we start there, just learning to blow the breath out, learning to breathe the breath in, and everything that you can feel from that vibration that's going in and out and in and out and in and out.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
And so, so now we've got them breathing, and we've got them humming, and we've got them stretching. How's it get any better than that?
How does it?
That's awesome. That's awesome. And things that I do with my grandchildren, is like we talk, and whatever ooh, ah, you know, when they're really, really little, they're making all these different sounds. And, you know, you learn what the sound means to them, you know, if they're hungry, if they're, you know, need to change their diapers, if they, you know, are wanting to move around, if they just want to be hugged, if they want anything. So all these sounds are so innate to us, and we just keep forgetting that every sound, what if that was our language before we had the words? And so the body knows those sounds and it connects with those sounds. And so that was a fun exploration for me, as I, you know, got to rehash that with my grandkids coming all over again. You know, as a mom, you're like, oh my God, what is it? What is it? What have I got to get? What I got to get with it? You know, as a grandma, you're like, oh, cool. That's a neat sound. It's so fun to play with that.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so interesting that, you know, when children are forming language and they don't have the words, they don't have the articulation yet, that they make sounds to communicate, but they're still understandable. You know, I think that's really, really, really cool. How much more can we communicate with, and how much more do we communicate without really using words? Like I've noticed that traveling the world, that there are a lot of sounds that people make that are like confirm, like you're saying yes, like mm, or mm-hmm, but like in
or
like even in Italy, they'll go eh, and they do the same thing in Korea, eh. And but then in Japan, so they'll go hi, or
and and it's almost like animal sounds sometimes. You know, the animals kind of, you know, like they're just like when they're yawning and stretching, you know, and how they do that little whine thing, or whether they're, so everywhere that we've traveled and that we hear all these different languages, and everywhere we see it in the animals, and even the earth when it makes sounds, you know, tapping into like the crackling of the trees, you know, those aren't words. Those aren't words that we have, you know, but it does produce this sense of, wow, I know what's going on with that, or what is going on with that is the question, you know. So it's like such awareness is that we can get from every sound. And so anywhere that we haven't paid attention, as far as like just an awareness, a soft awareness of being aware of like everything that you see, a bee buzzing, a fly flying by your head, or any of those kinds of things, just like you're saying with the people, you know, you know, any of those kinds of little things.
Right.
Hum again. That's almost a hum again, just that sound, when the lips are closed, you know?
Right.
So I don't know. It's fun to explore it all.
It is.
Exploration. I mean, how does it get any better?
Because you know what, it brings us to that global consciousness that we're all on this planet, living the planet together. It's not, you know, each individual makes up or comprises this whole amazing macrocosm. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful, and it's all connected. You know, I just had like a really quick thought about, you know, when they had the terrible oh my God, what's it called? The big wave,
the tsunami.
The tsunami. Yeah, and the sound that the water must have made when it was receding.
Oh my God.
And every single animal understood that sound was not a good sound. That they knew that it was that vibration of that sound was, you need to go to the hills, right? And if we're more aware of sounds, then we would have that awareness, you know, that this sound is kind of very strange. What's going on? What is that? What do I need to do right now?
And where have we cut off that innate knowingness, you know, by cutting off sound that we produce from our body or receive from the earth or any of that type of stuff? And if the animals are perceiving it, stopped receiving, you know, the same thing. We walk this earth like they do, you know, and what if we just really realized that every footstep we were really generating a sound to the earth, and that every sound from the earth could come up through us again. I mean, we could take this on and on and on to that macrocosm, microcosm, you know, all of the intrinsics, all of that type of stuff. And hopefully that I would really love to explore as we play with the bodies in, you know, our workshop, because it isn't just an isolated sound. It's like, where does that expand through everything that we play with or just be? Yeah.
Absolutely. And what if just, you know, asking the questions and clearing the energy through the expression of sound, just releasing sound. If we have aches and pains, if we have things in our life that we're not happy about, or things that we'd like to change, what else can sound contribute to creating the changes that we'd like to have in our lives, and everything that doesn't allow that to show up?
No, good and bad, right and wrong, pock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond.
There you go. Yeah. I was waiting for the pock and pot.
You know, that's the clearing statement. If some of you guys weren't on the first Google Hangout, that's a clearing statement that we use like a magic wand or a vacuum cleaner to kind of just clear energies that are stuck or that aren't working for you right now. And so we say this silly kind of clearing statement. It's good and bad, right and wrong, pock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So that's from Access Consciousness. And it actually is really neat that it'll clear whatever you're getting ready, whatever you're willing to get rid of, and you don't have to think it. The body already knows what desires to be cleared. And just by saying that clearing statement, we use it around the world, and it's been so powerful. It makes amazing, amazing change in everything. And anything you just want to get rid of, what if you just go like a sound? You let a sound go. And all the places where that frees a space in your body, something different. And so there's just those little spaces can expand beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond. Wow, I'm ready to let that go now. And what can we create from that?
There you go.
Releasing sound. I love it.
So that's if anyone wants any more information about Access Consciousness, you can go to accessconsciousness.com, and you can go to theclearingstatement.com to find out what all of that stuff is and read about it. So that's where Beth is. Beth is at a maestro class, an Access Consciousness class in Rome. And aren't we lucky that she is going to be the maestro here for our workshop on July 30th.
Can you tell it was hot and sticky and sweaty?
July 31st, 2016. So put it on your calendars and make a trip to Vegas and come hang out with us and release your sound. Make a joyful noise and discover your ability with sound. And all of us have it. It's a gift. It's a natural gift that we've been all given. So let's play with that. Come play with us in our play shop.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because, you know, I think what if it was like the time where your body just wants to play again and everything doesn't have to be so serious, and making a joyful noise is not about getting it right. Or wrong, good or bad. And it's just like, it just is, you know, for you, one day it may be one way, one day it may be something else. And if we just come and play and explore it. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Yes, me too. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. I want to remind you that below in the YouTube, on the YouTube page where this Google Hangout will be, are all of our websites. And so you can go and see the information posted there. But of course, we're going to be creating a Facebook event page that will be connected to this Google Hangout as well, so that you can find it. But you can always go to our Facebook pages as well, because all of the information will be there too. So I think that covers it for today. We are going to stop the broadcast and see you next week in our wonderful continual exploration of the symphony of sounds.
Woo! I think it sounds good. I'm off for some vino and caprese.
Yes, you go. Yeah, go get yourself. Go enjoy that Bella Italia. All right, Beth.
Thank you guys for all being here. Thanks for showing up on the Google Hangout with Karen and I. and what a joyful noise you guys add to our life. So thanks so much. See you in Vegas or
See you
next time,
week.
either way.
Bye.